Hi, I'm Dori, and I'm here to share with you the most essential tips and tricks that you need to know about using masking fluid. Masking fluid, also called masking liquid or liquid masking film, is a thick liquid that is applied to prevent paint from covering certain areas on a painting. You can keep small spots, fine lines, delicate patterns uncovered, even larger parts if you wish. Masking fluid works well with light, water-soluble paints like watercolors or ink. And here are my tips on how to use it. Number 1. Protect your brush. If you skip this step, you can quickly end up doing irreversible damage. Choose a brush that you will be using exclusively for applying masking fluid and nothing else. Before dipping your brush in the fluid, put a little bit of soap onto the brush. Then you can dip it in the masking fluid, apply the fluid on your painting surface, and when you are done, go and clean your brush immediately. Thanks to the soap, you will be able to wash the fluid off of your brush easily. Don't put this step off. The fluid on your painting needs some time to dry anyway. Number 2. How much masking fluid do you need? Be careful not to apply too little or too much fluid, especially if it's over a bigger patch. If you do a layer that is too light and thin, at the very least it will be difficult to remove. If you apply the fluid too thickly, it might tear some of the paper off when you remove it. When applying masking fluid, try to create an even but not too heavy layer. Number 3. Drying time. If you have finished applying the masking fluid, now it's time to wait. Don't be impatient, let the fluid dry completely before you go over it with paint. It may seem like a good idea to try speeding up the drying with a blow dryer. I've done a test for the sake of demonstration, so check this out and consider if you want to go ahead with this option. Right away, you can see that as the air from the blow dryer hits the liquid, it flows and ruins the shape that I created. I also have a suspicion that hot air might bake the masking fluid into the paper, making it stick too strongly and cause problems when you try to remove it. It's true that blow drying will help the masking fluid dry somewhat quicker, but I do not think it's worth the risk of damaging your painting. The safest way is just to wait patiently until the liquid solidifies. Be careful and avoid touching it before time, because depending on how far along it is in the drying process, it will either smear or stick to your finger and peel off the paper completely. For the sake of the test, I checked the patch that I left to dry on its own every 5 minutes. After 22 minutes, it was solid enough to be removed without a problem. Of course, it will depend on the size of the area that you cover with masking fluid, but I think it's safe to say that you should calculate with a drying time of roughly 20 to 30 minutes. When the masking fluid has dried, it's finally time for the paint. Then comes some more waiting until your paint dries. At this stage you can use a blow dryer if you want to save some time, but I do recommend setting it at a low temperature. Make sure that the paint has completely dried before you start with number 4, removing the masking fluid. This is the fun part. Removing the dry mask is easy. You can simply use your fingers or fingernails, just make sure that they are clean. And keep in mind that you might rub some of the pigments from the paint onto the parts that you wanted to keep unpainted, so be careful. And if you have a masked patch that's big enough for actual peeling, then peel away. Number 5. Finishing touches. It's possible that you will not achieve the perfect outlines with using masking fluid alone. If that's the case, just grab a brush and perfect the edges wherever it's necessary. And that's it. These are my tips on how to use masking fluid. I hope you have found this tutorial helpful. If you did, please leave a thumbs up on this video, and you could also subscribe to my channel for more art-related content. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye bye!